Now this, the Samsung Galaxy S9 making its debut over the weekend. It promises a better camera, stereo sound, and get this, animated emojis. What more could you want? Starring you. Tom's Guide editor-in-chief, Mark Spoonauer, is here. He's got one of these S9s on set for us, Mark. Physically looks just about the same as the S8, maybe the S7, S6.
Right.
You have it in your hand. What difference is it?
Yeah, so I think the biggest difference is the camera itself. If you look at the device, the design hasn't changed that much, but Samsung was already in the lead in terms of giving you a full display without a lot of bezel around the side. And you can make the case that iPhone X followed their lead.
Right.
But in this case, it's really all about the camera. They said that they've reimagined the camera, and they've done that in a couple different ways. One is better low light performance. So like if you and I are at a restaurant or at a bar, you don't need to use the flash. But the coolest part is what they're calling super slow-mo mode. So I'll show you.
Super slow-mo. No, you got the camera over your
So it
shoulder.
goes 960 frames per second. And it slows the action
so
down.
cool.
Cool.
And it's still sharp, right? So this is still an HD picture. It just gives you an example of what
so
this
funny.
camera is capable of.
That's very cool.
So that's super slow-mo.
Right.
And the other thing that people are talking about is what's called AR emoji. So with the iPhone X, Apple had their Animoji, which was with animals, and that's nice. That's cute.
Kind of cute.
But now you can actually turn yourself into an emoji. So you can see, like over my shoulder here, if I go into the Messages app.
Right.
So I did this with the camera. It captures your face.
Right.
And then it basically turns you into like a 3D caricature of yourself.
Can you turn Stuart into the Dennis the Menace neighbor? The neighbor of Dennis the Menace, Mr. Wilson? Can you turn him into that?
That would be
So I
very
can show
cool.
you, like, so at full screen mode, here's what some of them look like.
Oh, that's kind of
like
cool. I think that's better than the Apple Panda Bear or Fox or whatever you want to be. So the big question, though, Mark, is cost. We know that the iPhone X10, whatever you want to call it, is about $1,000. How does this rate?
So if you go for the Galaxy S9, it starts at about $720, which is a lot less than the iPhone X. But I think the one that a lot of people will want is the S9 Plus, because it gives you dual cameras, just like the iPhone X.
Right.
But it's $840.
Okay,
and
so
that's
still 160 cheaper?
Yeah. And it depends on like what carrier you go with, because some are charging more. Like Verizon, for example, is charging more. So they're basically saying like our network is worth more.
Great stuff. Animated emojis. What more could you ask for? Mark Spoonauer. Mark, thank you so much. Great stuff.